Hey Emma, check it out. I got something special for you.
Scanning. Is this the newest phone made by Google?
Yeah, it's the new Pixel 8a. Google just sent this over. Do me a favor and run a diagnostics and summarize your findings, yeah?
Roger that. Diagnostics engaged. Starting now. The Pixel 8a is Google's latest iteration of the company's mid-range smartphone offering and comes in at a reasonable starting price of $499. Taking design inspirations from the flagship Pixel 8, the 8a has similar rounded corners and a matte composite back, making the mid-range device look more mature than its previous counterparts. The 6.1-inch display takes advantage of OLED technology and has been upgraded to support a variable 120Hz refresh rate, though it is a feature that is turned off by default and must be toggled on via the settings. Furthermore, this is an Actua display that supports up to 2000 nits peak brightness, making it much easier to comfortably view in direct sunlight. Despite being a more affordable model, the Pixel 8a is also equipped with the Tensor G3 and the Titan M2 in-house processors, and has access to all of Google's new AI features baked within its operating system. Notably, Google decided to keep its cameras unchanged from last year's Pixel 7a, a potentially wise decision as the performance on this camera system has been universally praised as one of the best. The Pixel 8a is also supported with 7 years of software and security updates to ensure users have access to all of Google's latest features for extended periods of time. My overall diagnostics conclude that the new Pixel 8a offers significant value given its price point, and is a strong option for those who are more budget conscious.
Hey, it's Jason. It's been 1 week with the new Pixel 8a, Google's latest mid-range phone, and so far it's turning out to be a really interesting device. And no doubt the most important thing about this phone is its price. The Pixel 8a starts out at a very reasonable $499 US, something that you're going to need to keep in mind as we go through exactly what this Pixel can do. Now, from a design perspective, it's clear Google wanted to keep things consistent with their flagship Pixel 8 devices, as the Pixel 8a has a lot of similarities, starting with the very rounded corners that deviates from the boxier form factors of the past. 1 week later, it kind of gives this illusion that the phone is smaller than it actually is, and it's not as aggressive looking as the 7a, but it is a bit more comfortable to hold, especially in the soft part of your palm. Also, the back panel this go around has a matte finish to it as opposed to a glossy one, and this makes the Pixel 8a look a lot more elevated than its predecessors. Yes, the panel is made out of plastic, but the matte finish gives it a more modern aesthetic and keeps the device looking a lot more clean. And despite the smaller price tag, the Pixel 8a is still a really well put together device, and it feels a lot more premium than it should, and Google was still able to give this phone an IP67 dust and water resistance certification, which is, to me, really great. On the back, you get the signature Pixel camera ledge with the dual cameras on the back and a nice hole punch cutout for the front-facing camera on the other side. Now, when talking about the screen itself, it's a 6.1-inch OLED panel that looks great, again, kind of punching above its weight here when it comes to the price. Content comes off rich and contrasty, and now super bright as it can support up to 2000 nits of peak brightness. And 1 week later, I'd say that the 6.1-inch size is just big enough to not make it look small, but one thing that does bother me a little bit is the rather noticeable bezel around the display itself. This to me is the biggest visual sign that this is not a flagship device. Again, it's not the biggest issue as you really don't think or care about it once you're actually using the phone, but with competitors really pushing immersiveness with their screens, the gap comes off a bit more pronounced than I would like. But to get back to some of the positives, the Pixel 8a now has a variable 120Hz refresh rate, and upgrade from the 90Hz panel the 7a had, which is a nice addition. 1 week later, I can't tell a major difference in smoothness when navigating around the phone, but there's not too much throttling, which I was concerned about. Now keep in mind, this is a feature that you need to turn on in the settings, as it's turned off out of the box, probably to help with battery performance, something that we're going to talk about later in this review. Now before we get into that and all of the other features of the Pixel 8a, I want to give a big shout out to today's video sponsor, Torres. So summer is right around the corner and it is getting hot out here in the Chicago suburbs, but Torres has me covered to keep me cool this season with their new Coolify Cyber neck cooler. Now I want to be ultra clear about this right from the get-go. The Coolify Cyber is not one of those puny neck fans. This is a legit personal air conditioner that you can wrap around your neck to give you the ultimate on-the-go cooling experience, and Torres is the original brand when it comes to neck air conditioners. This little unit provides super cold AC from 7 different directions at multiple different speed levels, and this provides a near instant and portable cooling experience, and it's unlike anything I've ever experienced so far. It's kind of this combination of super chilled air blowing up and around your neck through all these vents. It almost feels like your head is in some sort of 3-dimensional AC vortex. It's so nice, and you could see just how powerful the blast of cold air could be. Plus, the Coolify Cyber has 3 aluminum cooling plates that get ice cold. It's kind of like having an ice pack around your neck, which really takes the cooling to the next level, especially on super hot days. And all of this can be controlled on the Taurus app, which allows you to have NTC temperature control, making it easy to really dial in the temperature setting that's right for you. Me and my wife were outside doing some yard work in the blazing sun the other day, and we were sweating up a storm. It took less than 5 minutes of wearing the Coolify Cyber before all the sweat on my neck and head was completely gone. It seriously felt like I walked into a mall that had their AC blasting, even though I was still very much outside in the blistering heat. Emma, what else can you tell us about the Taurus Coolify Cyber?
The Coolify Cyber has an impressive 14,975mm squared cooling area with 3 TEC modules for full head-to-back cooling coverage. It also uses patented graphene technology and 366 cooling particles, which enhances the unit's efficiency by 70%. Taurus also implemented an ergonomic design, which caters to a variety of different neck sizes and ensures a snug and secure fit without any discomfort. It's equipped with a 6,000 mAh high-capacity battery, which provides up to 15 hours of battery life and supports 20 watts fast charging. You can also use the Taurus O-Stand power bank to conveniently charge the unit while on the go, as it registers as one of the slimmest and lightest portable power banks on the market today. It also supports wireless magnetic charging of compatible devices, as well as Taurus signature kickstand for an extra layer of functionality.
If you guys are interested in learning more about the Taurus Coolify Cyber, use the link in the description below. This thing is a godsend if you spend a lot of time outdoors in the summer at places like concerts or amusement parks. It's a total game changer, and I promise everyone else around you will be green with envy when they see this around your neck. Okay, next, let's get into the Pixel 8a's performance and features. Keeping with really good precedence, this phone is equipped with the Tensor G3 and Titan M2 processors, the same chips that are in the flagship Pixel 8 and 8 Pro, which is great. It wasn't long ago that the Pixel 8 devices were powered by third-party mid-range processors, so it's great to see that Google isn't skimping when it comes to power. And generally speaking, the Tensor G3 to me has finally gotten somewhat stable in terms of performance and efficiency, and it really shows on the Pixel 8a. Everything runs smooth and lag-free, the little gaming that I do worked fine without any jitters, and all of this was done without the phone getting too hot or throttling performance. You get the same in-display fingerprint reader that's decently quick in terms of authentication, as well as face unlock, which is even faster. And as a way to really entice buyers, Google has given Pixel 8 users access to all of its new AI features and software goodies that makes a pixel. This is great because you're really not missing out on anything from a software perspective by going with this cheaper model. Plus, much like its flagship brothers, the Pixel 8a will be supported with 7 years of software and security updates, which should in theory make this a phone that you can use for a very long time, barring any serious hardware issues. And probably the most important factor to whether or not this phone could be used for the long term is the Pixel 8a's battery life. It has an ever so slightly larger battery than last year's Pixel 7a, but really not by much. I know it's only been a week, but battery performance up to this point has been okay, getting around 6.5 hours of screen on time. Now, mind you, I do have the 120Hz refresh rate on the whole time, which does burn through the battery a lot faster, hence why I think Google has it off by default. Does this have me concerned about long-term usability? A little bit, I'm not gonna lie. Software updates are great, but they do usually come at the cost of some battery performance, and even though Google has seemed to have ironed out a lot of the wrinkles with the Tensor G3 from an efficiency standpoint, we're gonna have to wait and see how it performs over time. But let's get into the last area of performance that's going to be really important to buyers, and that's the Pixel 8a's cameras. You get dual cameras on the back, one primary wide angle paired with an ultra wide, as well as a 13 megapixel front-facing selfie camera. And an important thing to note, Google did not make any changes here from last year's Pixel 7a, which is kind of interesting. One could argue that it's kind of a ripoff that we're not seeing any updates from the previous iteration, but considering how good the 7a did with its image quality, this could be much more of a if it ain't broken, don't fix it type of situation. And as to be expected, the pictures coming out of the Pixel 8a are fantastic. You're gonna get Google's signature recipe when it comes to computational photography. I'm also happy to say that the 4K video quality is also pretty decent on the Pixel 8a. I could tell that Google is really trying to step up in this particular area of the camera performance, and it's starting to show. So 1 week later, I'm not at all salty that the cameras on the Pixel 8a are the same as last year's. I'm still impressed by it, and I still think it's one of the best out there. Now, the last thing that I want to talk about here is cost. Let's really talk about the $499 $499 price tag. Generally speaking, you can't really deny the value here, as the Pixel 8a has a lot of what the flagship Pixel 8 devices have at a noticeably lower price. Now, the brass tacks question comes down to how it compares to the Pixel 8, and that's a big it depends type of answer. Right now, the Pixel 8 costs $699, which to me signifies a large enough price difference to say that the Pixel 8a is better value. But not too long ago, actually back when the Pixel 8a was first announced, the Pixel 8a was on sale for $549, which in that case, I definitely say that the extra $50 is worth the jump to go with the regular 8. 1 week later, I feel as though that the Pixel 8a is probably the best model Google has made in their A lineup, as it offers so many of the features that its flagship brothers have. And if the $499 price tag is still too much for you, I wouldn't be surprised to see this go on sale for around $399 sometime in the near future, and at that price, I think it's a fantastic choice to go with. But hey, that's just me, and I want to know what you guys think. What do you guys think about the Pixel 8a? Do you think it's really good value? Or do you think it misses the mark? Curious to get your thoughts. Let me know what you guys are thinking in the comments down below. And in case you guys want to compare the Pixel with the latest iPhone or Galaxy, check out these reviews here. They're going to help you be as informed as possible.